listen to the rest. Now it's time to listen to the best. Real Talk Sports, where these pro sport analysts do more than get in front of the throws. They never miss a catch or a call. No matter the sport, they always have the right call. Not just entertaining, it's the true sports fans forecasting guide. Feel free when you cash in or let it ride. With Real Talk Sports by your side, that is. Just to keep the ball bouncing even more, it's two-way talk with live question and review. So be sure to listen in on the new WIGO.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for each and every one of you who have joined in to join us this morning. I should say this afternoon. You can tell it's been one of those days. Every now and then you get one of those, but we thank the Lord. Sunshiny, bright, temperate. I don't care about the pollen. It doesn't matter. We are feeling great here in the building. I got a full crew of folks here. First, I'm going to go to my young gun. He is from Forest Park, a baller par excellence, but now doing some great things for the Lord. Ashton, welcome.
So thankful to be here.
All right, and we have a gentleman that's going to talk to us a little bit about a great concert that's coming up. He's going to introduce himself to you right now.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. My name is Minister Harry E. Holly, and I'm with the Samuel H. Johnson SSSP Foundation, Incorporated, and we're here to talk about our benefit concert that is coming up on April the 10th.
All right.
At 4 p.m.
That's some good stuff. I actually got a sample. I was at the a great event that was at the Georgia International Convention Center. Yes. I believe it was, let me see if I can get this straight here, it was the Black Family Expo, I think. I think that was it, and we had a great time there. Also, I think you guys were at the South Metro Outlook, Development Outlook.
We were at the South Metro.
Right, and that's the one I definitely saw you guys at, and found out that your key violinist there was also one of my clients when I was at the car dealership. So it really was just a very, very small world. And, of course, the lady next to me, she is a lady that has done great things here in Atlanta, but now she's shifting, doing even more, doing some great stuff in the community in terms of philanthropy and so forth and so on. We're going to let her introduce herself to you right now.
Good afternoon, Atlanta. I am attorney Denise Holmes. I have been practicing family law and personal injury for the last 18 years. My office is downtown on Peachtree Street. I have recently stepped into the shoes of sponsorship, and I recently sponsored the Steeple Awards, which is the gospel award show that we brought to Atlanta, and something that we'll talk more in detail about later in the show.
Absolutely, and really it's just great to have you here. When we first met, as a matter of fact, it was an outstanding community event, the Trumpet Awards, and I think even then I kind of got the feeling that Denise was trying to do something more with the great talent and the great expertise she has. So we thank God that she's going to be talking to us. She's going to be our spotlight in our community segment. Well, lots of breaking news going on. We are a sports show, but we do want to give you an update. If you have not heard this, there were shots fired outside the White House just a few hours ago. Evidently, someone got into the check-in line where they do the visitors. A young man pulled a gun. Fortunately, the Capitol Police responded immediately. He was shot. Not severely injured. No one else was injured, and they took down the lockdown situation about an hour ago. And so everybody, they said, is out there taking selfies in front of the White House as they always do. But yeah, shots definitely were fired right in front of the Capitol. So we pray for just really for the Lord to bless. But I got to diverge for just a second. This is called the Real Talk Sports Show. The one thing that troubles me is, now here's a guy that took out a gun in front of the White House, okay, and somehow the Capitol Police showed extraordinary restraint, shot the man, and he wasn't even severely injured. But yet, right here in our backyard in Georgia, a former veteran who was suffering from some mental illness, buck naked, not strapped, not even wearing any clothes, somehow or another was such a threat to a law enforcement official that this man was gunned down. So I don't want to get into a lot of detail on this, but every time I see something like that, it's very, very troubling to me to see how we have these major SWAT situations and somehow or another they can talk the assailant off the ledge and get the hostages out, but yet apparently for some reason a black man is a threat to the SWAT team, to the police, even if he's buck naked, that he somehow can't be able to be apprehended by the police. But that's all I got to say about that. Good news is no one was injured in the White House situation, and everybody is doing well. Well, we're going to go ahead and get to more breaking news about your concert. Tell us a little bit about the concert and, one of the reasons why you guys have this every year.
Okay, Mr. Simmons, I want to first of all thank you on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Samuel H. Johnson SSSP Foundation for having us and giving us this opportunity to talk about the concert and about the foundation. The concert is it's called An Evening of Enchantment, and we have three wonderful guest performers. And the first, who is our featured guest, is Miss Bertha Hightower Smith, who's a flautist, and she is internationally known. And we also have Gregory Milkshake Mayfield, who is a trumpeter and flugelhornist.
All right, I'll stop right here. Now,
Yes.
you know, brother, you can't drop a name like Milkshake without giving us just a little bit of a background to how he got the name Milkshake, if you know.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know how he got that name.
Sounds a little mysterious, so we're going to leave it right there. All right, okay.
But he's a great performer, great jazz performer, and we're looking forward to hearing him. Also, we have the Reverend Richard Allen Farmer, who is a senior minister for Crossroads Presbyterian Church in I believe, Norcross.
Well, that name Richard Allen has a great name historically speaking, because there was a Richard Allen that way back centuries ago obviously started the AME Church.
I'm quite familiar with him. I'm an AME.
So
I'm quite familiar.
I'm wondering if maybe the name might have been passed on through the family, just kind of recognition of a great historical gentleman, someone who passed race. To make sure that the faith in Jesus Christ would be able to be enjoyed by all people, regardless of color. So just very significant, that name, when I heard it.
Sure. But this concert is to benefit our endowment fund, our scholarship endowment fund. We're trying to raise $500,000, $500,000 by 2018. I'm sorry.
Let's see if I can get that straight. You didn't say $500.
No, I did not say 500. I said 500,000.
And with a $500,000 endowment, really what the goal is to have that endowment as a base and then be able to build off of that. Because a lot of people don't know. They think, okay, we have $500,000, we spend it all 1 year, but you guys are basically trying to set that up like colleges do.
Yes.
And so that you guys can really use the interest and have that right there and continue to give scholarships every year. What's your goal as far as dollars and cents that you'd like to give out each year if the world was perfect, say?
Well, at the present, we're giving 5 $1,000 scholarships.
Okay.
And that's on our effort and the effort of our friends. And what we would like to do is to give more scholarships and a larger amount.
Sure.
Now, we do not give the scholarship when the student starts college.
Okay.
We give the scholarship to help him finish college.
Okay.
In the junior and senior year. And we had a testimony not too long ago from a young man who was at Morehouse College. And he said that scholarship that we gave him enabled him to get his books for the first time before the semester started.
Wow.
And we've got many other stories like that. And so we want to build a base, as you said, of the $500,000, take the interest and offer more scholarships to students.
Well, it's a great thing because I think that, especially with us being on a sports show, one of the things that we talk about is the importance of scholarship. I mean,
Sure.
we want you to be a 4 or 5, 40 athlete in football. We want you to score 30 or 40 points in basketball. That's all well and good. But at the end of the day, I've had the opportunity to interview many former athletes here in this show, and Ashton's been here as well. And all those guys said the same thing. They all talked about the fact that had they not put the investment in the education, when their football career was over, they would have had no ability to be able to go on and not only just take care of themselves, but take care of their families and have the type of lifestyle that they maybe started to get accustomed to playing professional ball. So it's very, very important. And the other thing, too, is just to get back into your community. You need that educational foundation, that base to be able to do so.
Well, we'd also like to encourage your listeners, and especially those professional athletes that have gotten those high salaries like you're talking about, to come and support us in this effort so that we can give more scholarships.
Absolutely, guys. We're going to open up the phone lines now. If you want to call in and find out more information, phone line is 404-361-1571. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be talking community through most of the show. We have a caller here on the line. I believe it might be one of our guests for the evening. Caller, state your name and welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show.
Hi, it's Joni Taylor with Georgia Women's Basketball.
Coach Taylor, well, welcome to our show. It's very, very appropriate to have you here. And then there were, I guess, 6 now. We're still waiting for 2 more contestants to enter the Final Four, but I know you must be excited to see the women taking center stage yesterday.
I was. I sat in front of my TV all day yesterday, and I'm headed home now to watch the 7 o'clock tip between UConn and Texas, and then after that, Oregon State. plays a good Baylor team. So it's really nice to have women's basketball prominent on television.
Well, it really is, and you know they've been in the news here. I have a personal connection to the teams that are playing. And but before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about you. You're getting a big award here from the Deltas, I believe, coming up this weekend. And just tell us a little bit about that honor and what it means to you to be nominated and to get this award is really a trailblazer.
So the Atlanta Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority is having a celebration, and it's a trailblazer. Extremely, wasn't it? You know, it's just things in perspective, full circle. Is a Delta, and growing, we had to house, and I remember sitting there, kind of sneak in the room and watch and listen, and just growing up and seeing her so active. She actually, started 2 chapters. She just started 2 different chapters. Yeah, to pledge, go on and do some of the things. Really come full circle. So, anytime you can do anything to give back and be recognized for it, it just makes you feel good.
If I got this right, you are the first woman of color to actually coach the women's basketball team for the University of Georgia. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Andy Leonard has been the coach at Georgia for the last 36 years. So he retired. I was his assistant before. So it's only been the full-time coach ever in the program.
Well, somehow or another, Coach Taylor, we seem to be breaking up a little bit. Those nasty cell phones seem to be hurting us, but we appreciate you, and certainly we're going to try to come out and see if we can cover. I know there's a grand event on Friday night, and also you guys have a breakfast on Saturday morning, and we'll give people more information about that later on in the broadcast. But listen, kudos to you. Congratulations, and again, big things happening in the way of women's basketball, and good to know that you're right up the road from us at the University of Georgia.
Absolutely. Come see us, Jonathan. Thank you.
All righty. God bless. Well, yeah, I mean, just to see these young women, and obviously to have a black woman now moving this position as being the head coach at the University of Georgia basketball is just outstanding. Well, Ashton, that was your trade, man, playing basketball. What do you think about the women and what you saw yesterday?
Oh, I actually love it because, first of all, like she said, for women basketball to be getting the type of recognition that it's been getting, especially in recent years when you're now seeing women more athletic, they're dunking, they're gaining more viewers, they're getting the sponsorships, the endorsements, because most people don't even realize that actual professional basketball women basketball players, they're really underpaid, and they're very underpaid, which is why at the end of the WNBA season they go overseas. But for them to finally get the recognition, it first of all shows that now people are accepting their sport seriously and actually taking it seriously. And it also is just another platform to strengthen women as a whole, to let them know, okay, that you can dominate in basically a male-oriented sport. And it instills a lot of confidence in women. So I'm actually proud and excited to see where women's sports go from here, particularly in basketball, because this tournament has been exciting, and I just love it.
And Denise, I mean, for you, you to some degree, I don't want to say a trailblazer, but to some degree, starting off as a young black woman here with your practice, what does it mean for you to see these women continue to achieve and make these strides? And really, it's kind of been a male-dominated sport for a long time.
I'd say it's about time.
Right, pretty much. I agree with you on that.
Women play just as hard as men.
They do.
They do.
They're strong.
They do. And we've actually had several here. As a matter of fact, there's a young lady that might be calling a little bit later. She is ecstatic. She actually played for the University of Syracuse. And Syracuse did the rare double-double. They actually had the men and the women's team achieve the movement into the Final Four. So she's very, very excited to see that. I'm a little heartbroken because Syracuse knocked out 2 teams where I had a personal connection. First, they knocked out the University of Maryland, where my college roommate, his daughter, was actually a 6th Woman of the Year for the Big Ten. She came back from not 1 but 2 severe knee injuries. They're ranked number 5 in the country. They thought they were going to get to the Final Four. Syracuse got them out. And then the 2 fabulous femme fatales from right here in Georgia. We actually, a lot of people don't know, but Georgia's been a hotbed for female basketball players. And in the last 2 years, they've had not 1 but 2 young ladies actually go on to the University of Tennessee, which is a legendary women's basketball program. One of them I interviewed last year, Tia Cooper. She was Miss Basketball for the state of Georgia. Her family, it's amazing the marketing campaign that her family ran. I mean, they're all over YouTube and getting signed to scholarship. And then the year before that, her good friend, Miss Diamond DeShields. She was the National College Basketball Player of the Year, so both of them played for Tennessee. And Tennessee found themselves on the other end of a Syracuse beating. So I kind of felt kind of bad seeing my two favorites kind of go out like that. But nevertheless, again, great stuff going on in terms of women's basketball. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to ask the phone caller. We have a phone caller, so we're going to ask them to hang tight. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast to you from Atlanta's incredible radio, WIGO 1570 on your dial.
Coco, brother, y'all been too quiet. They said that we couldn't pull together a city for Jesus. Right now we stand.
For the first time ever, live from the Georgia Dome on Saturday, April 2nd.
When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up.
Live from the Georgia Dome, America Praise.
They said that Christians and believers couldn't come together. Well, I just called Bishop Morton.
Bishop Paul Morton.
No one can win a war individually. It take the wisdom of the elders and young people's energy.
I called in.
Pastor Real Talk Kim.
This is Real Talk Kim, the Georgia Dome.
We'll do over 30 million believers in one day. Yeah, I called my brother.
Pastor Jamal Bryant.
April 2nd, Georgia Dome. History is going to be made.
Coming of the Lord, my eyes have seen the glory.
Live from Atlanta, we will stand. Being brought to you by the Conry Evangelistic Association. America Praise will air live on Impact Network. Stand. All hosted by Corey Conry. Get your tickets now. Log on to standcampaign.com.
It's official. The hottest new restaurant and sports grill on the South Side is open for business. Check out the Burger Theory Restaurant, 638 Highway 138, Stockbridge, Georgia, inside the Holiday Inn and Suites. All new. It's got great appetizers, delicious desserts, and mouth-watering signature burgers made for your order. Grab some takeout on the way home or enjoy the beautiful lounge and dining area lined with flat-screen TVs. It's the Burger Theory Restaurant, 638 Highway 138, inside the Holiday Inn, Stockbridge, Georgia.
It's Macy's 3-day sale with night specials starting at 5 p.m. now through Thursday. Like wool blend and down coats for her, only $69.99. Men's sweaters from J.A. John Ashford and Jeffrey Bean, $15.99. Take 30% plus an extra 10% off mixers, blenders, food processors, and coffee. Boots from Style & Co., Rampage, and more, only $17.99. And Charter Club Super Soft Robes, $24.99. Macy's 3-day sale. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Back. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show. We're broadcasting to you live on Atlanta's incredible radio, WIGO 1570 on your AM dial. Of course, you heard that music. That means it's March Madness is here. And for the men, then there were four. We're now down to the final four, best four teams in the nation. And my buddy, Mr. Ashton, shaking his head because his bracket has been blown up long ago. I think after the first week, right?
No, not after the first week.
No? Mine was after the first day. I had Michigan State as a Final Four contender, and they were out immediately. So, I mean, so much for my
Mine's was ended.
prognostication skills.
Mine was ended after the Sweet 16. I had Iowa State and Kansas, and, you know, Virginia took out Iowa State in a blowout fashion. Congratulations to them, even though I'm still a little hurt due to the fact that Iowa State has displayed excellence. For them to be a mid-major school, they still played excellent. And then Kansas, they lost. I was like, wow, to Villanova. And how that was a shocker. And actually, Minister, that was a pick that you told people not to sleep on. So they took out the team that everybody had projected to be in the Final Four. And congratulations to them. They've been playing some excellent basketball.
Yeah, Villanova, one of the original Big East teams. These guys, I've watched the Villanova teams play for quite a bit. And really that's a great statement to the old Big East and the old ACC because basically three of their four teams are in the tournament right now. We have another guest that has joined us here. She is the lady that deals with your money. Mm-hmm. See, if I'm going to bring the ladies in, not only do they have great skills oftentimes off the court,
right?
On the court, I should say, but these ladies also have great skills off the court because they handle your money and handle your legal services. And I have Ms. Vashti Buck. You guys familiar with her? She's been a long supporter of our program. Welcome back.
Thank you. Vashi Buck. I am a financial advisor with Edward Jones, and I help people make sure that they invest the money properly, saving for retirement, for education purposes, by purchasing a house, etc. A lot of times people know that they should invest. They don't really know how they should invest, what they should do, what is a stock, how does that work, a mutual fund, etc. So I do a lot of education with my clients, and then we go and we make this money.
Like I said, that we go and make this money. It's really because it's all about the money. It really gets down to that. And we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later, because in the second half of the broadcast, we're going to talk about the ruling that Nathan Deal did with the Religious Freedom Act. We're going to talk about that in the second half and get some opinions on that. Well, speaking of opinions, I believe we have a caller that's been waiting very patiently to get on the line. We're going to check with our engineer. Caller is still there?
Yeah, how you doing?
All right. Go ahead, caller. State your name.
I'm glad you have a financial person on the program this morning. I want to ask a question. What is our problem in the African American community? We're just not interested in investing and saving up for tomorrow. What kind of mind frame are we lacking that we're not prepping ourselves for one day we shall get old also?
I don't think it's a lack of mind frame. I think it's a lack of knowledge. You don't know what you don't know, which is what I always say to people. And if you don't know how to go about investing, then you may or may not be an investor. And a lot of times also in the black community, we look at banks a lot of times to save money. And there's a difference between saving money and investing money. So a lot of people, save money in a bank, but that's not going to give you much of a return if you are trying to invest for the future.
Well, Carl, I hope you got the question answered there. I don't think really it's a racial thing. I just think it's a situation where that we have gotten a little sloppy as a nation in terms of investing and making those sound judgments. I'll have to say, sitting right here myself, since I've been in Atlanta, I got a little loose and fast with the basic techniques on how to. Here we go now. So listen, remember the name of the show is called Real Talk Sports. Okay, so I'm humble enough to admit that the decisions that I made before I got here, when I was in New England, amongst those who handled their money much more, judiciously. When I got to Atlanta, I said, "Well, let me try to be a big baller and shot caller." Right. Well, I mean, and listen, it's okay to do that when you have the financial capabilities to do so,
right?
And when you have a savings plan in place, when you have a solid investment plan in place, and when you have a good financial advisor to keep you from getting the okie doke from someone saying, "Man, if you just invested in this is going to blow up,"
right?
Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden you go sideways, and I would think, even Denise, from your aspect, how important is it for people to have sound legal counsel as they start to look into maybe getting involved with businesses or financial investments?
Oh, it's extremely important. You want to make sure, first of all, that whatever investment or undertaking that it is legal, it is on the level, and you do need to investigate. I think in the black community, however, we have that spend it all today mentality. Even a lot of people, when they get their income tax return, they don't save it. They will blow right through it. So we need to teach our children about saving. And years ago, too, I have grandparents that passed away not too long ago. They just saved their money in the bank. And they were savers.
It's funny that you mentioned that about grandma. My mother was called by you see how Vashi, she's actually said, "Oh, Lord, he's going to the story about his mom." But at the end of the day, here's how this works. My mother, they gave her a nickname called G Money. And I said to myself, okay, my mother pulled me aside. She said, "Dear, why do the kids call me G Money?" And so I pulled my daughter aside. I said, "What's up with that?" She said, "Well, you ever notice that no matter what goes on, if you say, 'Grandma, I need $20, Grandma, I need $30, and she knows it's like on the real, my mom used to do the same thing. She would say, "Okay, y'all close the door." And you would come back in, and mysteriously, this woman who was on a fixed income, she mysteriously came with 220s and said, "All right, now take care of this." And so, but what it was they understood that you always saved something for a rainy day.
Well, not only a rainy day, I think also to leave a legacy as well. And I think that's what, your grandmother did and my grandfather as well. Because my grandfather, he, was a North Korean vet, and also he worked for the United States Postal Service. So he wasn't making a whole lot of money, but he saved a lot of money and invested it. And anytime I needed some money, he would just put it in my account. I was like, "Granddad, I need like $100. Then $400, $500 later, it would just kind of appear there. And so I literally thought money grew on trees for a minute.
Yeah, but the older people did that. My grandparents also did that as well. And they generally set aside some. Now, this is this account to bury me with.
Exactly.
And this is this other account to do something else with. And that's what they did in the back in the day.
But it made sense because here, I mean, we've heard stories, okay, of women. We heard a story about the woman, I think, in Mississippi that gave like $125,000 donation to one of the colleges in Mississippi. This was a woman that never had anything but basically a menial job. But what she did was, I think it's something you guys talk about as financial advisors, the old saying, pay yourself first. And they would always put away something every single day, every week, whatever it may be, and mysteriously, voila, at the end of a lifetime. That's going to happen. That's the other problem we have. We're expecting that we'll go from 0 to 100 grand, Vashti, and how much?
And I was about to just say that.
Right.
I have people come up to me and say, oh, I have $20,000. I need it to be $200,000 in 2 years. Ma'am, no. Okay?
Right.
That's not going to happen.
That is not going to happen. You have to have realistic expectations, so that's part of my job is to manage expectations and to manage emotions when it comes to money. And also I think a problem in the black community sometimes as well is instant gratification and, I want to put 20 down, I want to get 100 back, like right now. And, investing doesn't work that way.
Now, and how crazy really is that? I mean, seriously, where can you go anywhere? I don't care if you go to Warren Buffett. I mean, he doesn't have a return like that. Well, every now and then, but usually he does not. I mean, so this idea that you're going to give someone, a financial investor, your money, and because they gave you a chart and say you need to be at $1 million at time of retirement, that's at time of retirement. And if you start your retirement savings at 50, ma'am, sir, it's not going to be at $1 million by 65 unless you're making some serious paper.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show, not the Financial Times, but we are trying to give you some background here, some information that can help you, and that's why I brought these two ladies on. One from the field of law, and one from the field of finance. Vashti Buck, of course, financial advisor at Edward Jones, and attorney Denise Holmes, who's doing some great things, not only with family law, but also doing some things in the community to help support that. And you can support the community as well. You can contact me. I can tell you about lots of great events that are going on in the community. You can hit me up by phone. This is my cell. The only thing I request is please do not call me before 8 a.m. and do not call me after 10 p.m., please. Business calls only. 678-410-9833, or you can simply send me an email to js@realtalksports.net. Again, you're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast to you on Atlanta's Incredible Radio, WIGO 1570. You also can find us online at wigoam.com and on the TuneIn Radio application. It's a free app. If you do not have it, download it right now. You put in WIGO 1570 in the search engine, or better yet, put in Real Talk Sports, and voila, you'll find us broadcasting to you right here and right now. Well, I found out something that I had no idea goes on here in Atlanta. And everybody's leaning forward and says, pray tell.
We're waiting.
Women's cricket.
Really?
And that got more crickets. Oh, I'm just joking.
You're waiting on that, weren't you?
Right, but at the end of the day, I found that, first of all, what I found out here is that cricket is becoming more and more popular here in the Atlanta area because of the immigrants that have come in, especially from the Caribbean and from some of our East Indian nations. Cricket over there is like baseball is here in the United States, even to some degree the way football is here. It's a huge sport. And I didn't realize they had two huge cricket fields they play right in College Park and in McDonough. So the ladies are having a tournament. Miss Samuel's a very nice lady. Hopefully she'll be calling us a little bit later on, saying they're going to have a Memorial Day extravaganza where they're going to have 6 women's teams actually playing cricket. And yes, that's right. The Real Talk Sports Show will be actually covering cricket. So, folks, if you like cricket, want a little different flavor.
Right.
But here's what I like about it, me personally. Have you ever seen how they dress, the men's cricket? You ever watch that? I know this is breaking news, but what I like is they always dress in white. Very smooth, nice white linen, crisp, clean. And, the preacher likes to dress up. So any reason for me to go out and put some nice clothes on, I'm with that. So again, folks, you're going to see me cover a little bit of cricket as the spring goes on. What we really want to try to do is bring you kind of a flavor and a peek on things that are going on right in your community a little bit different. Because, that's how we broaden our horizons. We look at things. I'm not asking you to go out and learn how to play cricket tomorrow, but just to go out. And plus, in terms of networking, you never know who you might meet in terms of a business connection, in terms of community connection. So, again, we'll be showing you some little cricket. We'll also be bringing you some more high school sports as time goes on. And we're looking down the road to hopefully set up our very first Real Talk Sports Awards. I'm making announcements here. Hopefully by the end of the year, we will set that up, and we're going to be looking at Southside athletes to support them and hopefully recognize them for all the good stuff that they are doing in the community. If you want to join in by phone, the phone line is 404-361-1571. But if you call, you're going to have to wait because we're going to take a quick little break, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Nathan Deal and the veto of the Religious Freedom Act and what it means to you. All right, come back for more. Don't go away.
It's Macy's 3-day sale with night specials starting at 5 p.m. now through Thursday. Like wool blend and down coats for her, only $69.99. Men's sweaters from J.A. John Ashford and Jeffrey Bean, $15.99. Take 30% plus an extra 10% off mixers, blenders, food processors, and coffee. Boots from Style & Co., Rampage, and more, only $17.99. And Charter Club Super Soft Robes, $24.99. Macy's 3-day sale. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Let's get ready to rumble with 100 yards of football, the hottest sports talk radio show live from the ATL every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. with Vincent Turner and his impeccable sports talk crew. That's right. Join your host, Vincent Turner, and his impeccable sports talk crew every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. for hot sports topics and more right here on Atlanta's incredible radio, WIGO 1570 AM.
I have been called one of the nicest people you will ever meet.
Some woman who wants to be immoral. She wants to fit in with whore America. She wants to spread her legs outside the confines of marriage. And she wants my tax-paying dollars to do it.
I'm known to be very laid back and reserved.
And another thing, you pastors, I got to get on you real quick. Don't try to stand and march against homosexuality and say they can't get rights. Meanwhile, Liberace's playing your organ and Elton John's directing your choir.
One thing for sure, I really get along with everybody.
About the missionaries, it's media.
No, what's media? It's not in the media. Are you kidding me?
You don't know.
Yes, I do know. No. Yes, I do know. Now, you want to tick me off? You say something like that.
To get to know me a little better and learn more about my wonderful attributes, join me live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. on WIGO AM 1570, online at WIGOAM.com or the TuneIn app. Download that for free. I'm Milani Kai. Dare to speak your mind.
Taylor, New York Giants, and you with Real Talk Sports.
All right, we are back, and we do have some video. And Miss Foster is like, she says, I know I'm beautiful, but I'm awful close to the screen. Okay. But you're watching here. We're on Ustream. You can go to our channel, ustream.tv /Real Talk Sports TV, and you will find us broadcasting to you live. And, of course, we are going to have the archive of this lovely video later on today. Well, you know, there's been breaking news, of course. All of those who live here in Georgia, you know that there was a very, I don't want to say controversial bill, but there was a bill that went up called the Religious Freedom Bill, and it passed the House and the Senate, and the only step it needed to go forward was our Governor Nathan Deal to sign on board. And ladies, you know what happened?
He said no.
He said no. Well, I think I know the reason why he might have said no. I have something called the Nathan Deal Mix. So we're going to see if we have that somewhere in the archives that I can have our lovely engineer play that. Can we find the Nathan Deal Mix? She said, hold on a second. She's trying to track that down for us. But it's just my take on the whole Nathan Deal thing. Because I actually had a chance to interview our governor about 2 years ago when they opened up the College Football Hall of Fame. I had a chance to do that. And so he seemed like a very nice man, contrary to some of the slings and arrows that he's been receiving both from Republicans and Democrats. But like I said, again, I want to kind of give you guys a different perspective on the man and to let you know that this was a well thought out situation. So hopefully we'll be able to find the Nathan Deal mix in just a little bit, and we can let you hear a little bit about what he had to say. But while we're waiting, we'll continue to go on because, as you know, the show must go on. The Hawks, our Atlanta Hawks, are looking very, very good. They are looking very much like we saw them last year.
awesome.
And, there's their balls. The Hawks are doing it. Well, speaking of doing it here, we're going to go here. I think that we might have the Nathan Deal mix, so we're going to go to our engineer and let her rip. Governor Nathan Deal here with us now.
Well, it's nice to be here. Certainly this is going to be a great addition to this part of our capital city. Estimated to have over 500,000 visitors coming here every year. Estimated sales of about $12 million. Those are good numbers for a governor to hear.
I was wondering if after all
in the religious community, some of whom have resorted to insults that question my convictions and my character, and to those within the business community, some of whom, not all by any stretch, have resorted to threats of withdrawing jobs from our state. They should know I do not respond very well to insults or to threats. The people of Georgia deserve a leader who will make sound judgments based on solid reasons that are not inflamed by emotion. And that is what I intend and have tried to do.
That song is now the theme song for Nathan Deal because right now he's got a lot of mad constituents. So he said, I'm sorry for everything I've done. I thought that was appropriate there with Nathan Deal. As you can see, really what it gets down to is what we were talking about here in the booth. I know people, I try to explain to people the way politics works. You can get caught up about Republicans, Democrats. You can say somebody's conservative. You can say they're a Christian. But at the end of the day, what drives the train in the United States of America was, and unfortunately always be the almighty dollar.
That's right.
Because you notice when I talked to Nathan Deal about the College Football Hall of Fame, he said, we got $12 million coming through, and that makes the governor happy.
Right.
and at the end of the day, listen, we can, I don't know, first of all, what do you think about this? Do you think it was something that he should have ratified it? Do you think they should have even put the bill forward? I know, Ashton, you're a little young, but I'm throwing you out in the fire, brother. What do you think?
That's all right. I mean, first of all, I'm used to being thrown in the fire, so it's all good.
Amen.
But if he feels like he's made sound judgment with the decision that he's made, then, stand by it. I believe he's done, the right thing due to the fact that he feels that he's used his sound judgment and didn't let money sway his opinions. Apparently he felt strong about his decision because he said, I've been threatened to, jobs have threatened to move and relocate from Georgia, but that still didn't change his mind. So if he felt strongly about that, so.
Ladies, would you like to chime in?
Yeah, he just said today, and I listened to him, he just said we should all just be, he feels that most Georgians are loving and acceptable and kind people, and that they didn't need a law to push them to do anything different. And he just feels like that we can accept and all just get along. I think that was the gist of what I got out of it as to why he didn't sign off on the bill.
Washington?
So he wants us to just hold hands and sing Kumbaya?
Kumbaya, my Lord.
On our own accord.
Yes. Yes.
And I think anytime a ruling or an opinion of some sort is made from something out of Georgia, I'm never particularly surprised. I mean, we're below the Mason-Dixon, and we're in a good old Bible Belt, Georgia. And even though the city of Atlanta, the metro, like in inner city, is pretty liberal, outside of that, not so much. So I think that anytime decisions like this, like Nathan Deal's decision, are made, it's not particularly surprising to me.
Well, the interesting thing is that he's not actually catching flack from really what was his base, conservative Republicans. Basically, we have a young lady here that does a show who's, I guess she leans conservative. I mean, she just basically called the guy a sellout. She said that this law puts into jeopardy church's ability to say, hey, listen, you know what? We're not mad at you, but we feel according to the scripture, we can't marry you in our church. And what many Christians believed, or I should say believers felt, that this law was giving some protection to not necessarily today, but down the road, a more aggressive policy to the LGBT, saying, well, okay, listen, we want to be able to have our wedding in this church, and if you say no, we're going to file a discrimination suit against you. The problem I feel about this whole thing is that the governor and the people that put the bill forth never really made a compelling case to the citizenry on why the bill was important and framed it in that way. We're not trying to be discriminatory against the LGBT community. We're just trying to protect the religious rights of those people who say, listen, we believe that this is not right, so we're not going to do it. Just like we would not marry a 50-year-old man and a 13-year-old. And I know some homosexuals get really, you equate me to a child molester. Well, I mean, it's there. If you're telling me all the sins are the same,
right?
If that's your spin, then in essence, I'm not that inclined. I mean, let me just ask a strictly business question. Denise, when you hire someone, or Vashti, you are in financial field, integrity is very important.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Now, if someone came to you and said, hey, I am a pathological liar, would you be inclined to hire that person?
No.
And there we have it. Okay. So at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. It's not a matter of you're saying, hey, we're saying one sin is worse than the other. But I mean, there's just a common sense point of view. And I think had the governor framed it that way, then I think that he would have gotten a lot less pushback from the people that basically made him shut this down. Because if you don't think this is a money decision, you're wrong. Because once the governor kind of looked like he was leaning, he got this phone call from the folks that are in the entertainment business. Well, Governor, you know that Georgia gets a lot of money from the entertainment business. Right. We will be telling our people not to film anything now. Right. Then he got another call from a guy who himself is very scandalous, the NFL, Mr. Imperial himself, Mr. Goodell. He sent his minions to call and say, oh, you know what? This is a wonderful $3 billion stadium you guys are building. It would be a shame if you were not eligible for a Super Bowl due to this ruling that you're making today that would stop you from getting a Super Bowl in 2019 or 20. Because we were considering you for that until you had this. So I get what Nathan Deal is saying about he's saying, well, I wasn't influenced by the money, but I can assure you if he didn't get those 2 phone calls, we would have a religious freedom bill on the docket. Well, listen, what say you guys? I know this is not really sports per se, but it is tied to sports because it's tied to us having the ability to have events here. If you want to chime in, 404-361-1571, whether you think he should have signed it, whether you think he shouldn't have signed it, I don't care. You may call us at 404-361-1571, and we will let you on and bring out your sentiments. But, I think it's always about the money. I think it was the same thing that happened at University of Missouri. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to in any way belittle that this young man was on a hunger strike, was in serious physical, jeopardy. I mean, he was a couple of days away from being out of here. But at the end of the day, what made Missouri fire their president was when 27 players from the University of Missouri football team said, we will not play in this upcoming ESPN game that's going to pay everybody a couple of $1 million.
Right.
That was that's when everything's, up. And so it's always been that way because even if you look at all of these things that are happening, it really kind of spins from the successes of the civil rights movement. Because in essence, what made the Birmingham bus movement, it wasn't that the Birmingham guys all of a sudden got an epiphany and said, we love black people so much. The bus owners said, hey, we're about to go broke because the Negroes, the African Americans are no longer riding our buses. And we about to go broke. So we don't care whether they sit in the front, the side, or the back, just get them back on the bus. And that's really the end of the day. Many protests when I was younger in the 70s, 80s, 90s, when people said, we're not going to buy your product, suddenly people got very concerned about the needs of the African American community because it was tied to the needs of another community, those good old American greenbacks.
Right.
They do make a big difference. But I think with the laws changing to allow same-sex marriages, I think a lot of things came across very quickly. And when you have new laws instituted, you need research. And I think a lot of things have not been researched properly because I know a lot of people now, those folks are going to want to get divorced and different things. And some of them, I'm getting calls and they're not quite sure, well, can we get divorced?
And I was going to ask, how is that really affecting your practice? Because no, seriously, and I would assume, even for both of you guys, now you start to get into property rights and who has this investment. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things that might come up from this.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of things to come up. I think it's still so new that a lot of people are just getting married, but, one in every, most marriages, it's about a 50%. It's a 50%.
Whether you be in the church or not,
we haven't seen it. We haven't seen yet, but it's coming.
Crazy.
A little bit more research, I think, across the board to put some things in place to help explain things, and this is how we do. That would have helped to avoid some of this. And it's going to be some more issues that's going to come along besides this religious bill.
It's going to be in the world of sports because, I mean, it's just, like, for example, the Falcons had a faux pas recently. They went out to the Combine. Now, I know the coach was half joking, but a guy that they were considering to be one of their first draft picks, this was the initial question that a Falcons coach thought was a good idea to ask the recruit. He said, "Hey, do you like men?"
Oh, yeah. Right.
And here's the thing: we would have never known this, but when the recruit went back home, his home local CBS affiliate said, "Hey, how was the Combine? I know those guys ask a lot of crazy questions. What was the craziest question they asked you?" He said, "Well, I'd rather not say." They said, "Oh, come on, man." They said, "You're back home now. Go ahead." He said, "Well," he said, "there was the Falcons coach, and the first thing he asked me was, 'Do you like men?'" Then the follow-up sidebar was, because in Atlanta, we roll like that.
Oh my God! Interesting.
Okay. Now, here's the reason why this is going to be a potential problem. It's the same problem with the military. Because again, I'm just trying to work with me here. I'm trying to do a common sense point of view. All right. Someone says to me, "I'm a guy. I like guys that way." Okay. And he says, "I want to play football." Well, I know from playing sports, Ashton, you play sports, you have to go into a locker room,
right,
with a bunch of other guys,
and that's where the problem starts.
And there you have it.
That's exactly where the problem starts.
I'm just thinking. I'm being real. Now I'm being real. Even though I'm a more mature man, and even though I've been in ministry for a long time, I like women. So I would be under great duress if someone told me, "Hey, you're going to play on this like mature basketball team, and you get a chance to be in the same locker room as your fellow sisters." I would have to have a bandana wrapped around sunglasses and I couldn't even, because I'm just thinking at some point you might, let's back out. I'm getting too deep. Let's keep it simple. We all heard of office romances, right?
Exactly.
Okay, now what kind of controversy or problem would it cause if your starting quarterback fell out with his relationship of your tight end? I'm just saying.
Right.
Right. All right. Well, you know what? Okay, I think I might have gone too far to the left. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show as we're broadcasting you on Atlanta's incredible radio, WIGO 1570. We got to take a break because it's gotten hot in here, but we're going to finish up with our community segment. You don't want to miss it. And, hey, this is Real Talk. All right. Stay tuned.
Call on the name of Jesus Christ. Son Edward in your ear on WIGO AM 1570, Atlanta's incredible radio. Son plays anointed gospel music and interviews the biggest gospel artists in the country. Son Edward in your ear discusses local and national news from a godly perspective. Son Edward in your ear. Tune in every Sunday at 9 a.m. on WIGO AM 1570, Atlanta's incredible radio. Son Edward in your ear.
Guess who's coming to WIGO AM 1570 on Tuesdays? It's Ask Dr. RJ. Is your child acting out in school? Ask Dr. RJ. Are you feeling too much stress on your job? Ask Dr. RJ. It's okay to talk to your friends or even your mom, but you still need that clinical piece. So ask Dr. RJ. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on WIGO AM 1570.
Hello, this is Minister Jonathan Simmons. Everybody needs to be encouraged and inspired. And that's why I'm inviting you to join me on the Clarion Call broadcast every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. here on Atlanta's incredible radio, WIGO 1570. The show brings you inspiration from the Word of God and information from great guests to help you make it through the week. It's the Clarion Call Show, Wednesdays, 9:30 a.m. here on WIGO. You can also listen on your mobile device with the free TuneIn Radio application. Remember to check us out online at www.clarioncallshow.com.
It's Coco, brother. Y'all been too quiet. They said that we couldn't pull together a city for Jesus. Right now we stand.
For the first time ever, live from the Georgia Dome on Saturday, April 2nd.
When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up.
Live from the Georgia Dome, America Praise.
They said that Christians and believers couldn't come together. Well, I just called Bishop Morton.
Bishop Paul Morton.
No one can win a war individually. It take the wisdom of the elders and young people's energy.
I called in.
Pastor Real Talk Kim.
This is Real Talk Kim, the Georgia Dome.
We'll do over 30 million believers in one day. Yeah, I called my brother.
Pastor Jamal Bryant.
April 2nd, Georgia Dome. History is going to be made.
The coming of the Lord, my eyes have seen the glory.
Live from Atlanta, we will stand. Being brought to you by the Conry Evangelistic Association. America Praise will air live on Impact Network. Stand. All hosted by Corey Conry. Get your tickets now. Log on to standcampaign.com.
Ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Y'all looking good. God looks good. It's not your hair.
I'm going to have to start listening to the station.
It's not your hair, not your clothes, but it's the God inside of you. Kent Jones, a local hip-hop gospel artist, now actually has a church location right down here in the south side of Mount Zion, doing some great things. Also, of course, for those of you who are television aficionados, who love reality shows, Kent Jones, in fact, is one of the featured stars of Preachers of Atlanta. And I have some more breaking news about that. If you go back to episode 1 and you slow your camera down and video, you will see 2 men walking into the sea room. One of those men was me. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to you.
No, I got a cameo. I was famous. That was my 15 seconds of fame. I got it in there.
Boom.
But listen, like I said again, it is what it is.
Speaking of Kenton Jones,
yes.
You know he performed at the Steeple Awards.
Yes, I heard that.
And he had us on our feet. We were doing the nay-nay and everything.
Hold up now. That's a different kind of being in the spirit. You do the nay-nay. I mean, I hope nobody
nay-nay.
shifted into another mode. You know, sometimes we confuse the spirit with. But anyway,
no, it was none of that. It was Holy Ghost filled. But Kenton, he did a wonderful
phenomenal.
job.
He did a phenomenal job. He really does.
Phenomenal. He had us on our feet. And I would welcome him back again, and we did give him an award.
And speaking of Steeple Award, what was it really that drew you? Because this was the very first Steeple Awards here in Atlanta, and it was really off the charts. Phenomenal red carpet, capacity crowd at the Shalom International Church down at College Park. Well, tell us what kind of got you engaged to be involved in that.
I have a friend who had a vision. His name is Shandon Carter.
C. Shandon Carter, I know him.
You know him. He also does the Rice Awards.
Triple C. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he came up with this idea. And when I listened to it, it was something that went off on the inside of me. This was something for the gospel community.
Right.
This was something for us. I said we go to people are all, they've been in uproars about the Oscars. They had the Grammys. They had the People's Choice Awards, BET Awards. Well, what do we have in the gospel church community? I tell folks, if you go to church, what would it be if we didn't have the choir to welcome in the Holy Spirit? Then we also honored the pastors with their wives of several of our major churches here in Atlanta. What would we do without the pastor? They all work hard. And then this is an award show, too, where people can vote. People choose. They all get online months in advance, and you choose your favorite gospel artist, your favorite gospel video, your favorite media personality, and those people have an opportunity to be honored. And I was so happy to be a part of that.
On the ground floor, premier sponsor. And she actually is very, very interesting. You guys can go to my catch.me page to see my archive videos. She had a Ronald Reagan moment. Now, you probably ask me, what do you mean? For those of you who are historians, Ronald Reagan was doing a debate, and there was a discussion about the microphones. They tried to, and finally, Reagan grabs the microphone and says, listen here, I paid for this microphone. Well, of course, when you're on the red carpet, speed is of the essence, so you can't really get into doing a lot of talking like I do. So I was doing long interviews, and they said, listen, you cannot do any more interviews, shout-outs only. So Denise, of course, came up, and we were about to do the interview, and they give her the cut the throat sign. You can only do that. So Denise tried to be, elegant, charming. When they did it again, she says, hey, listen, okay, that's my guy, and I'm the premier sponsor. So I helped pay for this mic.
Go, Denise.
And the situation got corrected right away.
That's how you flex your muscle, right? That's how you flex your muscle.
Right. It was all about take your time, brother. Please. Just keeping it real. Well, listen, really quickly, Steeple Awards, great, but you also are looking to do some other things. I know you've been a great connector of people because, as a matter of fact, that's why the Young Guns are here now from a connection you made with me to with Ronnie and some of the other guys that really do things with getting the young people involved in the community.
Yeah, that's something that I said I wanted to do. We can leave a legacy in many ways and not just about money. I said when I died, I didn't want them to say that I worked 1,000 hours a week and that was it. We have to go back and we have to grab our children in the African American community. I don't have children. I love children, though, and I can be a mother and a helper and a supporter and a provider to many of those out there. So those of us who have been given the opportunity for further education, to use our time and our talents to go back to our children. I was in the prison ministry for years, and I worked in the juvenile prisons. And it always grieved me to see them in prison at such a young age. I was home playing with Barbies and in Girl Scouts. So I says, well, I'm here serving in the prison ministry. What can I do to keep them from going to prison? So now I've been getting involved with organizations. I've also done some things with Hank Stewart. And, Hank Stewart's real big on the schools over in DeKalb County. And then we've had this thing now about these failing schools. I also joined the National Council for Negro Women. And we're going to be doing a lot of things here in Atlanta. They started an Atlanta chapter, Diane Larchet.
I saw that. Yep, yeah. I saw that on Facebook. Well, listen, speaking of now here's, you actually can see it in real time. This young man right here, he actually, at his early age, has started his own nonprofit. Ashton, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, with Blessed Coast, that's the name of it. The number one thing is to spread positivity, and not only that, but also the Word of God, just giving people a strong foundation that they can build on so they can go ahead and realize that success is not a tournament. And we use all forms of entertainment, from music to comedy, to sports, to motivational speaking, to fashion, anything. Whatever God has blessed me with, He allowed me to bring it all together so I can, because there's so many ways to reach people. And if I can reach you one way, then the job is done. And even though I'm like young age of 21, soon to be 22 next week.
You're getting old, boy.
I'm getting there 8 years from 30. But even though it's just, I had to realize that after the passing of my mother, who left an incredible legacy for me to build upon, at an early age, I had to grasp the fact that, first of all, we don't live forever. Second of all, you have one, since you don't live forever, you might as well go ahead and grasp and go for your goals now. Third of all, a lot of people, you're going to have a lot of doubters, but how you act, that's on you. How you react to that, that is on you. And achieving your goals, that's also on you, because everybody should know that success is not a tournament. No matter what time you get there, as long as you get there, that's all that matters. So that's what I do within Blessed Coast, just letting you know that success is not a tournament. And you can follow me by going on the website. On my website, you can get all of my music, social media sites, and all of that. It's www.blessedcoast.com, and I spell it BLESSEDKOAST.
All right, ladies, we're wrapping up now. Vashti, website where people can find out more about you?
Well, the website is edwardjones.com, but I am having an open house on
That's
Wednesday.
what I'm talking about.
Where I'm inviting the entire community out to meet me and to possibly, set up appointments with me, etc. I'll have hors d'oeuvres and I'll have some jazz music playing in the background. And my address is 8687 Hospital Drive. And my number is 404-428-1986.
All right.
And I'm going to squeeze in attorney DeniseHolmes.com, 770-449-5711. I can help you with your cheap divorce. If you can't find your spouse, I got divorces at $350. I'm not here to gouge people. I'm trying to help them. Also, too, you don't have to let Ken Nugent and the rest of them take all your money from your personal injury settlement. We work with folks and provide full service on personal injury cases.
There you go. Well, guys, I'm concerned with your soul. Before I get out of here, remember, if you don't know Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, please, ma'am, please, sir, get to know Him today. Nobody loves you like Jesus. That's why I always play the same song when I leave each and every night. I'm grateful to be here, grateful for you. God bless you, and good night.